Hello, friends. Okay, first of all, I need to do a pep talk. So,
Rah, rah, you can do it.
who? Oh! So, if you've been in this with us, so glad to have you along. Thank you for those of you also who've been commenting and sharing your stories along the way, because then we all get to be inspired by each other and learn from each other. I want to say that if you did not join us for the first week, or if you started in the first week and just fell off the wagon for whatever reason, feel free to join us for this second week. We'd love to have you on board.
It's never too late.
Yes. And some of your comments have really, for me, brought forth the idea of how important it is to be self-compassionate. When we take on something like this, trying to break a habit, or at least go in and examine a habit pretty carefully, there's going to be hiccups along the way unless we have a really steel-clad discipline. And being able to be self-forgiving with that just allows us to not only start over freshly, but also allows us to just learn from the experience. And if we get anything out of this, if you get anything out of this, maybe it'll make a huge shift for you. Maybe we'll just learn some things, and then it's worth it right there, because we learn a little bit about how our body reacts to different things, about our mental state of when we desire something.
Habit.
Yeah.
Convenience. A lot of different things that go into why we make the decisions that we do. And I feel like that's just as valuable, is understanding, why am I choosing this, or why am I not choosing this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How's it been going for us? 'Cause people have been telling us how it's going for them.
Giant failure.
Giant failure?
A failure that I decided before I even did it. So,
Okay, so this was a
So
conscious
you knew,
one.
I'm
know.
going to just break and go do this thing.
So, as you know that we said in our last video, it is sap season. So, once a year this happens, and our neighbors boil down the sap. And I thought, oh man, I don't know if I can go out there and help with the sap boiling and not taste any. So I thought, I'm just gonna break and have some of the sap that's half cooked or whatever. So that's
Will
my
you explain what half
failure.
cook is?
Half cook is kind of when the sap is halfway boiled down, so it's kind of halfway between sap and syrup.
And you
So,
love that the most.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, but so that was a failure. But it was very good. Yeah.
Well, I've got to admit, when I was out there, was it one of our little friends, I can't remember who it was, handed me up a spoon. They had half of it, and can I use the excuse of not wanting to be fulsome? We have this book with all kinds of cool words in it that we've been experimenting. Not wanting to offend my young friend in any way, so I took that half spoonful
Well,
of
that's how
half cooked.
Well, I don't know.
And it was so overwhelmingly sweet. I couldn't go back for more.
Oh, I
Honestly,
I have not had a drop of it.
you have been.
did. Yeah, we offered some to you, and you were like, no.
I wanted to, because it's hard when you're standing right there and there's friends around and you have the smell of the smoke and the steam
Yeah,
and
that's what I'm talking about.
the fresh maple syrup flavor, and fresh maple syrup is so amazing. But I haven't actually felt super bothered. I've had a couple different cravings for things this morning because I didn't have syrup yesterday. I really wanted some waffles with syrup. But I haven't, really felt like I needed that. But we've been eating
I've
really
been
nourishing
craving
food.
ice cream.
Yeah,
for some
especially
reason.
when you're hot.
I feel
Ice cream, like
just
ice
want-
cream, vanilla ice cream, not chocolate. Oh, not chocolate, vanilla.
Yeah.
No offense to you, chocolate lovers
I
out
mean,
there.
and
Vanilla
ice cream, because we make our own, and I gotta say it's pretty good, right? It's not.
Yeah.
This is a yummy, decadent treat. So I can understand you missing that. I feel like you function really well with when you read about willpower research. One of the rules that some researchers put forth is the 100% rule. that it is easier to be 100% than 99. I feel like you work really well that way. And that's a powerful technique, to just put a blanket statement, because then when a temptation comes up, you instantly have your 100% no.
There isn't any judging. You don't have to, you just say, I got to figure out a way to tell this person I can't have some half-cooked right now.
Yeah, you were in that same social context last night where people were offering it to you and you were turning it down. So for us, because we have gone 99% instead of 100, then every time something comes up, there's a question of, am I going to make this one of that 1% exceptions? And when I have to make a decision like that, that basically takes more willpower energy to make that decision than it does to have that quick blanket decision.
I think that's probably why I do, because otherwise I'm the kind of person who just will chew on, well, I should do this, but then I do that, but then if I do that, and it's too much. So it's yes or no, one or the other. How is it going for all of you? What have you been noticing? What have you been learning? And have you been compassionate with yourself? Have you had understanding for yourself? And what does that feel like and look like? I'm really curious to hear. It's fun to get your input on what this experiment is like for you.
I know some of you are working on other addictions, and share about those. That's really powerful stuff, because this is all the same thing. We're talking about human willpower. How can we access that most effectively to make conscious decisions in our life? And our decision doesn't have to be the same as another person's decision. What's right for one person, maybe not right for another person, but for each of us to be able to be at the helm and make our own conscious decisions. That's what we're getting at here.
And one thing I did notice, we were just talking after we had lunch about being aware of eating your food and tasting it. And that is one thing. When we first had our fruit, we just, and I noticed that a lot more we tend to taste our food, and food, because sometimes food is just, I gotta grab something and I gotta put it in my system. I gotta feed my system some, stick the coal in the engine kind of a thing.
I feel like when we first had the fruit, we just paid so much attention to it. But now that we've had it for a little while, we don't pay as much attention to it.
You don't? I do.
Well, I mean, but what I mean is
I know
that when it's the first thing, you pay way more attention.
Yeah, so
I can still pay attention.
Not eating habitually, because that's another thing. We can sit down in front of a computer or a device, or all of a sudden we're texting and we're eating, and so we're completely missing this opportunity. And then that's where I think sometimes, for me at least, I can start to kind of just spiral downward, not noticing, making choices that aren't really choices anymore. I'm not
or
consciously
even just
present.
Thinking. Just thinking in your head about something, and you're eating
That's
mindlessly.
True. La 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 la, and pretty soon, did I eat that?
That's super important. I think last year I was a guest expert for Experience Life magazine for an article on digestion. And when we eat something, there's a really good body of research behind this. If I'm stressed out, if I'm sitting there thinking about something else, and often the things that we're pondering over in our minds are things that are stressing us on some level, that hinders digestion. So I might be eating the best food in the world. Most of that's going to just come out the other end pretty much undigested because I'm so not there, present with my food. When I'm there, present with my food, making conscious decisions, even if that's, I'm going to eat this cupcake and this ice cream.
I hope you would be present for.
I would hope so, right?
Yeah.
Ice cream, oh my gosh, ice cream! Stop talking about ice cream!
Then I am really going to tend to absorb the most goodness from that possible. So a vital thing, we talk about mindfulness all the time on this channel. I think back to our ancestors, and we think about what's the best ancestral diet, what's the best paleo diet. And maybe one of the best aspects of the paleo diet that people aren't talking about is being unstressed and mindful while you eat. And you've heard me say before, I think probably our ancestors were more in a place where their amygdala would fire when necessary, but probably didn't exist in the state of chronic stress that is
Speaking of which,
such a modern
I
reality.
feel you were talking about diets, and I was thinking that having a diet might help you focus on your food just because you're kind of focusing more on what you're eating and you can only eat certain things or whatever. So, yeah, I don't know. Just
Yeah,
thought
yeah.
maybe that
Because I think in doing that, whatever your dietary decision is, let's say we're just going to eat whole foods, you've put a mindfulness wrapper around.
you're paying
your
attention.
eating.
Is this whole or whatever?
And the flip side of that is that sometimes we can say, I'm going to eat healthy. I'm only going to eat healthy stuff. And that can almost become a fear of food where I just am eating broccoli because I think it's healthy and I'm not avoiding other things. And when I eat...
You are avoiding other things.
Yeah. And then when I eat that broccoli with that as my mindset, that other foods are going to really hurt me and that this won't. Sometimes that can have an accompanying kind of tension and stress inside.
It's called orthorexia.
Oh, yeah. There's a name for this.
Yeah. Well, and it's just important to be aware of. We're each on our own journey, but fear of food can be a real thing, and then that becomes a stressor every time you're eating. Is this going to kill me? Is this what's causing my issues? Especially if you have unresolved health issues that are chronic. You can just want to be finding what it is that is causing the problem or will help you out. But adding stress is definitely never a great thing. Okay.
Any other thoughts?
I don't think so.
Okay. Share with us down in the comments how it's going for you. Any other thoughts? We kind of had some rambles and meanderings here. And we'd love to hear yours as well.
Yeah,
you can do it. One more week.
Bye.
Love to you all.